Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope all of you are having a good start to the work week so far. My name is Gio from the Fandom United podcast. I really love that name. Last week on my first episode for the Fandom United podcast, I revealed the name, title, and logo. I encourage you guys to go and check that out. But I'm coming at you today with some good or bad news, depending on how you feel about the DCEU going forward. So last week, there was a New York Times article that covered the future of DC and Walter Hamada, the president of DC Films. And in that article was a paragraph that talked about the DCEU going forward via the multiverse, where they can bring in different actors who have previously played DC characters, for example, Batman, Michael Keaton here, and allow them to all exist, but also exist in their own separate branches. And in that article, there was a line that said, uh, DC will be going forward with two Batmans played by two different actors in separate franchises. And I took it as, of course, Robert Pattinson in the upcoming movie The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves, and Ben Affleck's Batman, because Ben Affleck is back as Batman, and that's what I want to see. That's what the fandom is calling for. But apparently not. The guy who did the article for the New York Times, I forget his name, but via Twitter, he came out and said, I, in fact, was talking about Michael Keaton's Batman. So this is pretty interesting. That's why I say this is good or bad news, depending on how you want, or depending on what you want in the DC going forward. It appears that Warner Brothers DC will be moving forward with Michael Keaton as Batman in a franchise and not Ben Affleck. Whoa. I'm a little bit I'm a little bit bummed. I'm excited to see Michael Keaton's Batman, but I'm a little bit bummed because I'm a huge fan of Ben Affleck's Batman. You guys know this. I love Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Edition. And whatever your feelings are about the movie, Ben Affleck's Batman was just incredible. And what they did to his character in Justice League, the 2017 movie that came out, was it was unacceptable. It was a far cry. It was a distance of what we saw in Batman v Superman. And when he left the role as Batman, Ben Affleck, a lot of us were heartbroken because we knew he was working on something great as far as his solo movie was concerned, and we surprisingly loved his interpretation of the Batman, what him and Snyder brought to the character. And yes, we are going to see him in the Snyder cut this upcoming March, which I'm very excited about. A Batman that's more closer to Batman v Superman than whatever that was in the theatrical version. And he will also be in the Flash movie as well, the upcoming Flash movie. But apparently that might be it, according to the New York Times writer, who did in fact score an interview with DC Films president Walter Hamada and was able to learn some information. So, well, what does this tell us as far as this bit of news, this bit of confirmation? It appears that DC might be looking to do a Batman Beyond type story with the character going forward, where there's an older Bruce Wayne and then played by Michael Keaton, and then a younger Batman. In the animated show, it was, I believe his name was Terry McGinnis. By the way, Batman Beyond is on HBO Max. You guys can check it out. I've seen a couple episodes, but now I'm going to have to watch it all the way through if DC is in fact going through with this. But man, it appears this Flash movie that's coming up will have a lot more implications than we thought for the DCEU going forward. I thought Michael Keaton would be returning just for this movie alone. And you guys can see in the concept art right here, beautiful, by the way, that they released at DC Fandom. You see Michael Keaton there getting ready to fight some henchmen, and then in comes the Flash. Of course, Flash, being able to use the Speed Force to time travel to different multiverses, different universes. And in this case, he ends up where Michael Keaton is Batman. And I'm sure we'll have more interactions in that movie. Here's some fan art right here of Michael Keaton's Batman with Ezra Miller's Flash. This is not official, but somebody did this, and it's pretty impressive. But it looks like we're going to be seeing more of Michael Keaton's Batman. And maybe this will wrap up Ben Affleck's time as Batman in the Flash movie, which is a little bit bumming if I'm being honest here. I'm a little bit bummed by this. Now I am an enthusiast here for DC. I'm an enthusiast of going back to the Snyder Cut. I'm always a believer that something else can happen. And that something could be if the Snyder Cut is so well received and fans absolutely love it, and the Snyder Cut kills it as far as subscriptions go, as far as reviews go, especially as far as Ben Affleck's Batman goes. If there's a real calling, DC Warner Brothers, they will find a way to continue Ben Affleck's Batman. They won't let it go to waste. They already have a script that Ben Affleck was working on, and apparently a lot of people loved it, but it just wasn't up to Ben Affleck's standards, or he wasn't really passionate about the character at that time. Remember, it was a pretty dark time for Warner Brothers, DC, and for Ben Affleck, where he was at that point in his life. That's another conversation. But, there were extenuating circumstances at that time. But now it's a new page. It's a new chapter. Ben Affleck seems to be a lot more happier. I don't care about those photos of paparazzi that are online that are invading his privacy. Those pieces of shit. It just pisses me off. Leave the man alone. Let him live his happy life and continue bringing us great movies, both as a director and as an actor. But back to what I was saying. There's a chance Ben Affleck could be back as Batman for a longer duration past the Flash movie. I certainly hope so. I am hoping that HBO Max convinces him, throws all the money in the world for him to do something with his solo movie involving Deathstroke, or at least play Batman in a couple more movies, hopefully a Justice League Part 2, if it's good enough. I am remaining optimistic here. But as of right now, it seems like Michael Keaton, they're moving forward with Michael Keaton, and we'll see what happens from there. You guys let me know what you think. Are you happy about Michael Keaton at 69 years old going forward as the DCEU's new Batman? Should they do something with Ben Affleck's Batman? Let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments down below. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll catch you guys later with another piece of news. Take care.